Yan Can Cook at Chengdu is brought to you by
Tea has been cultivated in southwestern part of China since the Shang Dynasty, almost 3,000 years ago. Early Chinese legend credit tea drinking to Emperor Shenlong, who was drinking a cup of hot water when leaves from a nearby tree accidentally fell into his cup. Tea began as a medicinal concoction, then a daily libation consumed by emperors, poets, everyday people. Classical philosopher Lao Tzu called tea the elixir of life. Tang Dynasty scholar Lu Yu wrote a whole book on tea called Cha Jing, which is Tea Bible, which to this day is still hailed as the most scholarly treatment of the subject. Marco Polo wrote about tea in his journals, but it was not until the 16th and 17th century that the Portuguese and the Dutch traders brought tea to Europe. It reaches India and the Middle East much earlier, traveling on this slippery, dangerous tea road. Much the tea produced near Chengdu is unfermented green tea. The rich soil and humid weather makes growing condition very ideal. When green tea is naturally fermented, it acquires a more robust flavor and it becomes black tea. Chef Fang, 你好. Golden, crispy, spare rib flavor with tea. Simple dish. Look at all this tea plantation. We're picking tea right over there. The spare rib is poached with tea until they are nice and cooked, and you can tell it's cooked. Oil has to be very hard for deep frying, but not smoking. Now this rib is poached in tea until they are basically cooked and coated with flour or cornstarch. When you put it in, don't dump it in. Don't slam dunk. Very dangerous, hot oil. And then the tea, beautiful tea like this, soak it in water until softened. Remove the liquid, then you have tea leaves, very dry. Squeeze the water out. Squeeze the water, look at this. Huh? Fry it 360 degrees, and not more than 375 degrees until they're nice and golden brown. Drain the oil until golden brown. Crisp, golden crisp. Golden leaves. Look at the difference. Toss. And then
好了，现在装盘。
Then toss it in. Plate it nicely. And then put the tosses in, sprinkle it around top, right on top of the ribs. This is a classic signature dish of Chef Fang's restaurant. So this is the final dish. It is classic, it's simple, everybody can do it, but you gotta have the right tea. Right here in Pujiang, in Chengdu. Crispy, aromatic, and it's golden brown. Look at that, look at beautiful leaves. 3 leaves. Crispy spare rib with golden fried tea leaf. Chengdu is famous for its hot pot. Chengdu is also famous for its tea. It didn't take long before someone came out with our next invention, tea hot pot. Look at this. tea hot pot, why? There is a tea bag right here. No fat, no chili. This tea bag. Smells so good. 我们试试看。When I travel, my favorite souvenir is always a tea set. One of these days, I may donate all of these to a museum. Or maybe by then, I would have enough to open my own tea museum. Why tea? Sharing a cup of tea with a new friend is a great memory, and is often the highlight of my travel. All these tea sets remind me of all the wonderful people that I have met, and what a fortunate life I have led. Long before European sidewalk cafes or tea houses flourished all over China, a tea house is an ideal place for people to take a little break from the hustle and bustle of their life, to meet up with friends or family, or just to contemplate in solitude, all over one cup of tea or two. In this case, maybe just one cup. This classic tea garden is over 100 years old. It is the oldest existing tea house in the city. Generations of Chengdu residents have sat on these chairs. Many patrons here come with their children and grandchildren. As they sip their jasmine tea, they remember the days when they were brought here by their parents and grandparents. This is truly a fine Chengdu tradition. 老虎灶. I've never seen anything like this. They call this stove the tiger stove. It can heat up a whole bunch of kettles all at the same time. There's never a shortage of hot water in this place. Xiang. 太香了. Delicious. Tea has a calming effect. I don't know about you, but I'm already very relaxed just by watching her. Obviously, not all the teas are alike. They don't taste alike. They don't look alike. Here's what I mean. Look at all of these. Green tea is unfermented. It is picked, cleaned, roasted, cut, and packaged. Fermentation is actually an oxidation process. It brings on a richer taste, fuller body, and rich color over a period of time. Interesting enough, it also lowers the caffeine level. It is a common mistake to assume that fermented tea is higher in caffeine content. Now, most people drink tea out of a glass or just a little cup. You know what? The classic Chinese tea cup is made up of 3 packs. The lid represents heaven above. The saucer represents the earth below. And the cup represents human being. A cup of tea is truly nature in harmony. You know what? The best part is the taste of tea. Here in Chengdu, when tea is served, you do get a little sample of snacks like sunflower seed and some sweet and savory pastries. And here is something you don't get in a Cantonese house, a show. Good. 谢谢，做得太好了，谢谢。闻着，闻。A simple cup of tea. It quenches your thirst. It calms your nerves. It's the elixir of life and the building blocks of empires. It inspires poetries and bridges cultural barriers, all inside this simple cup.